Good evening. Oh, wow, it's 8 o'clock already. Okay, so I'm gonna try to do it short, and it's gonna be 80, less than 30 minutes because my kid is still awake. I'm I am doing a long solo tonight again. So my husband almost home, but still. And I try, we go to the martial art, jiu-jitsu today. Went to the library. We came back for dinner and shower. And I was thinking, I'm gonna do here at 7:30, and then they will be on time for sleeping. We slowly move. They get older. Their bedtime slowly move later. So I want them to get to the quiet time at 7:30, and we're gonna sleep down at 8 o'clock, and that is a good winding down time for the kids. But now it's 8 o'clock already. They just shower, brushing teeth. They playing on upstairs with their Lego and reading new book. We went to the library. They just borrow a bunch of books, so now they just sit down and go through those new book and be creative. So I love it. So I let them be. And I came down here, it's 7:30. No, it's 8 o'clock. All right. So I've been back for 8 o'clock since a long time. I hope you have a wonderful day. And today I am thinking that I maybe challenge myself that I'm going to go back and speaking in Vietnamese. Oh my God. That is the fear. I haven't been speaking Vietnamese like fluently every day for since I came to the US. When we came to the US, we make the commitment that we're speaking more English and we want to merge into the new culture. So we went to college and we study English in college and we get a degree at the same time. So me and my siblings, we communicate in English. We speaking to my dad and my mom in Vietnamese, but sometimes, English and Vietnamese are missing. So it's like over the year, our communications in both language is like a mix, right? It's never be fluently in Vietnamese, never be fluently in English only. Is like a mix. So between me and my parents, and our siblings, we make the commitment, we change. When we come out here, we challenge ourselves to learn, commit to be successful in the US, that we're gonna speak only English. And we tried really hard, and then we did. And then we don't speak Vietnamese anymore, no longer. And then I feel like I lost it the other day. It just hit me that I may be not able speaking Vietnamese in the topic I want to talk. For example, the self-development, self-transformations, and how to teach kids and other stuff. And I would love to speak in Vietnamese. I don't think I can. So I want to challenge myself. Maybe sometime when I'm ready, I'm gonna challenge myself to just speak in Vietnamese only and see how it goes. The other day, I just saw a lady, she traveled to the US from Vietnam and study abroad and then stay here, have a professional teaching as professions. She is a professor teaching in university, and she has kids and she got husbands here, and she built a dream of her life, and she talked about self-transformation in Vietnamese. I'm just admiring her so much that she's speaking both languages so well. And I'm like, oh my God, I love to, like able to speak like that. And it's occurred to me, why not? Why not try? So I maybe go back and try speaking Vietnamese again and see how it goes. My kid just like love to learn Vietnamese, and that's my mistake. I did not teach them Vietnamese. And then they want to learn Chinese at the same time, and attempt to teach them Chinese without speaking the language, and it's not that easy. I have been failing big time this year of attempting trying to teach Chinese when I'm not able to, especially when I'm trying to add more things on our homeschool schedule, because next year is the third grade for my son. It's going to be a special years, and I want to do a better job. So instead of, like doing everything as one in our homeschool, I'm slowly introducing things and adding things in. I'm not testing out. This year is not testing years anymore. Last year was a testing year, but this year is not. This year is more about adding more on the schedule and modify the schedule that work very well for us, and I will carry on over the summertime and then bring it in all together for the third year. And because I think third grade they have to go and do the test, so I want to make sure that he capable of go out there and do the test, whatever the test they want to put it on him. And so I'm thinking that like my kids want to learn different language, and here I'm trying, but at the same time I try not to beat myself so hard like we felt learning Chinese this year. Is that But at the same time, like I'm going back to what I said yesterday. instead of and that's what I'm trying to do, the whole thing with everything in my life that I have been learning, that I don't try to do everything at big chunks anymore. I'm breaking it down in small and try one at a time. I don't want to do too much and then fail, and then feel bad about it, or feel failure, or feel giving up. For example, we just tried the Chinese, but and the same time I was thinking like science is more important here, because science is make the kids interest, because that is like take them a break away from the paperwork, from the worksheet. So I don't want to do too much on worksheet. I want to do more activity for them, and I try to introduce history, with which we are successfully doing it. We don't do deep dive, but we are reading and understand at the second grade level. And then I want to introduce the biology, financials, cell roles, cell learn, cell understand, and then what else do we do? And then science. So like I try to, what I'm learning here, I try to do the looping, study, loop study, which mean like I have finance role myself. So every 5 days a week, I have 5 different subjects to do after they're done with their math and language art. I'm happy trying and successful, but somehow not Chinese. And because I'm stopped on Chinese, I can add Chinese at the study loop, but at the same time, the reason why I'm stopped is because I did not speak the language. And if you I want to study the Chinese, it had to be like 3 or more days in a week in order for them to study. But somehow I just say, let's stop, let's find a better alternative for maybe in the summer or next year. So I'm looking into the summer right now. And when I make that decisions, I don't feel bad that I stop doing Chinese, but I'm more focusing on the other stuff that more interesting to them. But at the same time, that I am enjoy doing it, because it's not too difficult. It not add more weight on my part. And that when I'm feeling that way, it's much easier for me to move on with the day. So what I'm doing is that I'm just stepping back, and I do, instead of introduce so many things at the same time, I'm introduce one thing is that loop studying and history, like every day, and loop study. loop study with science, biology, finance, self-development, and art. So those are, and then I keep Chinese on another time, and maybe that I'm gonna work harder on next year, like foreign language next year. And at the same time, we practice a lot with piano and martial art, and then now we add on jiu-jitsu for the kids at the same time. So like two type of martial art and piano. So we do a lot, like at least like 3 hours a day. We practice on skill, like piano skill and physical skill, motor skill, like martial art, but they're working on balance, they're working on memorization, the form, and they practicing on the muscle and stretchings, and I call that the PE. And so the music and PE, it takes at least 2 hours, if not 3 to 3.5 hours of our days, our school day. So it's a lot. It's a lot going on, and looking back, I'm not feeling bad of doing it, but at the same time, I'm using my philosophy of one at a time. Let's do small. Let's do what I can at the moment and figures out what I cannot. The piano, I'm teaching my daughter piano right now. My daughter doesn't take any class from the piano instructor, but I am her instructor, and I don't know piano, but I have the little basics from my son. So I'm transfer that to my daughter, and so I'm learning and teaching at the same time. And I'm modifying how to teach her at this as well. So I have to say that I have been doing a lot on my plate, and I say that I don't want to overwhelm myself, because when I'm overwhelmed my kids, and that's not a good idea. So, like my concept here is that one at a time, do what you can, do what I can, and then adding more on later, like a month later or two later. And after, like 6 months of school year now, that I have been adding on a lot, and I finally feeling like like it's almost complete, able to follow, and I like that. I like it that way, and I feel more successful and more confident to moving forward to the third year, if that makes sense. So what I'm saying it here is that whatever we practice, whatever I'm talking about, is the same concept, that one at a time, do the small thing, and the more, if you don't do it, you don't know. You have to do it, and then you modify whatever works and what doesn't work, and then you can, when it's work, and then you feel comfortable, you feel like the routine is there, the habit is there, the curriculums, the momentum is there, you can add more on, and don't ask too much, just one at a time. That's what I did. I add history, and then I feel comfortable. I add biologies, and then finance, and then like now is like it's cover almost everything. But is that perfect? No, of course not. But it's a foundation for me to do a better job next year. And I'm sure next year will be different and will be better. That's what I know for sure. Right now, I am figuring out the schedule. Next year, I'm going to add more valuable subjects or curriculum, that better curriculum than what I'm doing this year, if that makes sense. Like go more deeper, and maybe like take more time or more hands-on, less paperwork, like worksheets and other stuff, right? So again, if you don't do it, you won't ever know. So you have to take the action, make a decision, and take the actions, and the how will come eventually. The longer you go, the more you will know about how to do it. All right. So let's start doing this for 15 minutes. Okay, I'm going to practice the same song. I hear my kids is playing around, running around, so that's why I'm checking and see what time is it. All right, we have 3 more minutes to go. Let's stay focused. A little bit better. I couldn't finish this. All right, 15 minutes is over. I hope you have a wonderful, wonderful night and practice and put time in to do whatever you plan to do, whatever you set out to do for yourself. I promise you, this practicing is not only for yourself, but it can transfer to your kids and any other side, other part of your life. And you only need to be consistent and for the next 300 days and promise you it will get better. And 1% shiftings of your life, it will have a domino effects on the other side. I'm not speaking from doing nothing. I'm speaking some from my experience, and I hope that you can join me or any other people that you follow. And if you really want to do it, don't sit there and wait. Just go ahead and do it. I hope you have a wonderful night. I will see you tomorrow. Good night.